my water bottle started like mysteriously
exploding,
leaning back and forth like a ghost was just tapping it.
Earthquake.
Oh, ghost cat.
Earthquake.
Swaying, that's the word. Yeah.
Leaning back and forth.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hello, Hannah. Hello, Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben, and I fart, and there's nothing to be ashamed about that.
Everybody farts.
Everybody farts on podcast.
Did you know, speaking of recorded farts, did you know
that the earliest recorded fart was in 1896
No.
by Reginald P. Wilson.
The first recorded pervert, Reginald P. Wilson, who invented recording equipment
and
just
farts.
to hear his farts more than once. Yeah.
Is this a prepared bit? Or are you guys
That is
doing
not
this off the
prepared.
cuff? It is amazing.
Oh, thanks. like Ben and I get together and like plan fart jokes.
Listen, but for us to get into this, you need to fart right before we start recording.
I didn't know if you were like quoting some like TV thing I haven't seen or whatever.
Nope.
Oh, no. No, I was gonna say
Straight off the dome.
Yo.
I was listening to Punch Up the Jam this week.
Because Brian David
came out this week.
Gilby.
Yes, and it was about a Backstreet Boys song called "The Call." So,
I know that song.
Okay, Erin. Okay, Erin and I were both like big Backstreet Boys like fans, right? You were
Yeah,
too,
sure,
right?
sure.
Yeah. We were together. We were like we didn't have a rivalry, right? I know it was like you had to be Backstreet Boys or NSYNC.
Yeah,
fans.
whatever. I liked both, you know?
I only liked the Backstreet Boys.
Why not both? Is kind of my life philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Hannah has some thoughts about why not both, I think.
No.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're both good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, but listen. The main beat in The Call, like when it comes in right after like the flamenco music at the beginning,
Yeah.
it has a fart in it. It runs through the
What?
entire song.
Really?
Yes,
Like a
it's
real
like a
fart.
recorded thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Like it's like Howie's fart. And the producer was so impressed with his fart being like on the beat and in tune that he kept it and he worked it into the beat of the entire song. It's insane.
I've never heard
and
this song before, and now I have to listen to this.
Well, I never would have noticed it, but after they said that, they played the intro to the song, and like it's like a loud, wet fart. And you can hear it once you know it's there.
Oh, no.
No
Okay,
way.
I gotta listen to it. That song comes up a lot in our household. Molly's
Really?
a fan of it. So we listen. I mean, it's like, you know, not every day, but like, you know, definitely a couple times a year, that song, we'll get down to that song.
I'm gonna look it up on Spotify
right now. So it's like right when the beat comes in.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, listen, I'm gonna be late tonight, so don't stay up and wait for me, okay?
Oh my god. That like a country sound.
Like, it's wild. Hold on, now I gotta listen to it again.
Wait for me, okay? Where are you?
Oh,
God,
no.
yeah,
That like crunchy.
Okay?
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. So everybody farts, even the Backstreet Boys fart.
Yeah.
So.
But Howie, I mean,
That might be the like craziest song fact I've learned.
yeah.
It's crazy. I was blown away. I was like in my car, like literally they were like, pull your car over and watch this music video, and I almost did it because like anyway, that's something I wanted to share with you guys.
Well,
but
thank you.
That fart had to be so loud. Because there was no way there were microphones behind him.
Well, maybe he's got a reputation.
Wow.
Erin, what are you drinking?
Howie the Blowie. That didn't make sense. I wish that
Direct
worked
descendant
out.
of Reginald P. Wilson.
It runs in the family. I'm having an ice water. It's a Ben Brown special, and I'm having a cozy cup of pumpkin rooibos tea. Oh no, I just put the tag in the
Ugh,
tea.
that sounds disgusting, I must say.
What?
I don't... Rooibos tastes like dust to me. I'm not a
Dust.
fan.
But it's pumpkin dust.
Yeah, it's like pumpkin dust. It's like I don't get
Is that
the
my
dust.
crazy? I get like a musty flavor kind of from it. Is that just
I
me?
don't know what it tastes like.
It's
I never worked at a tea shop, personally.
That's
It
just me
doesn't-
though. I don't know.
I don't really have I don't have a nuanced tea palate. Most tea tastes like dirt or grass to me. But this one doesn't. So that's kind of weird. that
I
it
mean, a
tastes
lot of people really like it.
fusty to you.
But I don't.
This one has a lot of pumpkin spice flavor to it, so I feel like, it's a Trader Joe's product.
I have it in a pumpkin colored mug.
Why don't you just have one when you have a sip
Yeah, I'll try
when
it.
you come over for Thanksgiving, Ben? You let me know about
Maybe the
dust.
rooibos we had at the place I work just wasn't that good.
Well, was
Maybe
it
it was
was
just
it the dusty?
Well, yeah, it was we kept it, like, when you sweep up at the end of the day, you put that into the the rooibos pan, sorry, and then you dump that into a bin, and that's where we got the rooibos tea from.
Oh.
We keep ours in a tin with the lid on, and we don't put any dust in it. So maybe
okay.
that's yeah.
All right,
maybe
that sounds
that's
good.
maybe that's not like the way a tea shop does it. But look, we're just humble tea drinkers. We're humble at-home tea drinkers, Ben.
At a real tea shop, you drink dust and you like it.
Yeah, you pretend to be cultured. I just drink pumpkin, non-dust. What do you have in hand? Or Ben?
It's Ben, yeah.
What are you having, Ben?
What are you-
I have also a Trader Joe's product, a nearly empty cup of apple cider. And then I got 2 cups of water, no ice, because
No ice. It's
I'm in
still no
purgatory.
ice. Why don't you get
Sorry.
ice trays? You flip?
I don't want to do that.
Okay, cool. So this is somewhat of a self-inflicted
I mean, the
ice.
freezer's like full of stuff. There's no room for it. There are like 4 people living here.
That's not what you said before. Your first reaction was you didn't want to.
Well, I also don't feel like it. I don't want to like buy
You're right.
new things, but I'm going to be here for 2 more months.
You're right. 2 more
Yeah,
iceless
Ben.
months.
I also, even though I don't have this to drink, but speaking of Trader Joe's products, I got that ginger lemon seltzer the other day.
yeah.
So fucking good. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's like
Yeah.
top notch. It is expensive because there's only 4 of them, and also they just,
In the world?
yeah. It's like $400,000 a can.
Supply and
They were
fucking
made by
man.
Trader Joe himself.
Reginald P. Joe.
What are you drinking?
Now, Ben,
Hannah? Oh,
well,
no.
I have a question.
What?
Question for you.
What?
You said earlier, before we started recording, that you and Kylie were going to watch something together later. But you're in California / purgatory.
Correct.
And she's in Boston.
Correct.
So how do you do that?
What's your scheme?
So have you
your
ever
secret?
heard of Google Hangouts before?
No.
You ever use those?
No. No.
Well, we hop in one of those, and then
Yeah.
Kylie usually has to mute herself because otherwise I can hear the TV. She watches on the TV, and then we just start at the same time. And
That's how I like my women. Silent.
well, when she wants to say something, she unmutes herself to
That's kind of her.
comment
It's kind
on
of you
whatever
to
goes
let her
on.
do that.
Generous.
What can I say? I mean, chivalry's not dead.
When I'm running Google Hangouts, because maybe I have dabbled in one before, if I do anything else, like open another Chrome tab, it's like my computer, which is like highly sophisticated. this is a MacBook Pro with all the bells and whistles used to like write software. And if I open like a single other tab when I have Google Hangouts going, my computer's like that's
Really?
the fan. It's like it like doesn't know what the fuck to do with itself. Yeah, it like takes all my computer to like run one.
Wild.
Google
I mean,
Hangouts.
Chrome does. Like, Chrome is like very CPU intensive.
Huh.
Well, I'm cutting all this out because it's boring.
Wow.
That's not boring. Okay. Fine. What are you drinking, Hannah?
I have 2 drinks. I have my seltzer, which, although it is fresh, is very low on fizz.
It's
so
gonna be full.
I know. It's nothing.
That was
nothing.
It's still water.
Basically.
You didn't even carbonate it.
Yeah, I'm out of the fizzy juice. It ran out as
Oh,
it was
really?
doing this. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's
like a high
Fizzy
carb.
juice.
Yeah.
Fizzy
I
would make
have
feel
a
nice.
goblet of
Ooh.
cranberry drink. It's cranberry juice, like the like super unsweetened stuff in the glass bottle.
Did he hand squeeze the cranberries?
No, although we did have fresh cranberries yesterday, but I'll tell you about that. I don't know when I'll tell you about that. We gotta
Wow.
talk about Thanksgiving, and then I'll tell you about it. And ginger juice, which I think he did hand squeeze, and
He hand squeezed
honey,
the ginger?
a ginger root, yeah,
Wow.
A ginger?
and what else? Whiskey,
There's
and
the punch.
seltzer, yeah, but it's not bubbly because it was the same seltzer I just opened for you, so it's just to water it
No
down.
fizzy
basically.
juice.
It's good though.
Cranberry drink.
Do you want to know why we had cranberries?
Yeah,
You
I
got
do.
them in
I
a
think
bog.
I think I know, but tell the listener.
Oh, yeah, I told
humbug.
you already.
Huh.
Okay, well, I like considered bringing this as my obsession, but I feel like it's overkill at this point. But the new Making Perfect series from Bon Appetit has me like absolutely dying for Thanksgiving to be here already. Like, have you guys watched any of it yet?
I watched
I
the
watched the
brainstorming
preview.
app.
I think I finished it.
So the first episode that came out was Brad and Andy, and they were making the turkey and the cranberry sauce. And I was really excited because, as it turns out, both Brad and Andy are actually fans of like jellied cranberry sauce from a can, which has always been my preference.
Mhm.
And
I don't like it.
I know, so they had to.
Well, you're uninvited from Thanksgiving. Hope your plane
Yeah.
ticket
I mean,
is
I should say
refundable.
I do like it. I just like the fresh stuff more. I like
Ugh.
both though.
It's just so much work.
Okay, the canned stuff is the regular stuff. The fresh
Yeah.
stuff is like the like that's
Yeah,
not
you're right.
regular.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I just
Sorry, I
want the
thought you would
option.
put up more of a fight, but you didn't. So I looked aggressive.
I was trying to correct regular to fresh. I didn't mean the regular fresh stuff.
Thank you.
I was replacing regular with or fresh with regular.
Because my mom makes the fresh stuff
Yeah,
every
she makes
year.
good cranberry sauce.
It's like it's like a passion project for her, which
Yeah,
is
it's like-
which is delightful. But the canned stuff has its place.
Yeah. I just want options. Like,
The
I just
canned
wanna
stuff
I would have
reminds
all
me.
of it.
The canned stuff reminds me of Mimi's Thanksgiving because we
Yeah,
always had the
reminds
canned
me of
stuff.
delicious, tasty food. So
Reminds me of a can.
it does retain that shape.
it reminds me of a can made of jelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gelatin. So anyway, what they made was like this sort of spoilers, but like what they made was kind of like an homage to that. Like they wanted it to still be like sliceable and not necessarily involve too much chewing and stuff. And what they made looked really interesting. And so I made it and to try it out. And I have to say I still prefer it from a can better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was okay. I think, like, I might have, like, messed up the spicing a little bit. There was something kind of off about it. Also, the way I made it, it wasn't vegan, which I'd like to try a different, I don't know. It's just, it's hard. It's kind of like with,
Did it have
Like-
gelatin in it?
yeah, with
Okay.
cranberry sauce and with key lime pie. It's sort of like you could try to make it fancy and you could try to make like a twist on it, but like why? Because it's perfect. And now it's always like a disappointment to me when it's not just like what it is. You know,
it's a lot of work when you could have just opened a can and been
right.
this punch.
Exactly. So I don't know if I'm going to keep experimenting with it, but I was very excited to hear how many people in the test kitchen, probably pretty coincidentally, were like actually fans of canned cranberry sauce.
I love it.
Yeah.
They're just like so great. All of them are so great. Because they're like these fancy ass chefs, but they're like just
they're
like
not
us.
snobby about food at all, though. Like
they're not.
Like I like the episodes of Gourmet Makes when like Claire has a food and everyone's just like, oh, this thing is so fun. Like with Doritos.
Oreos,
and like everyone
too.
just fucking loves Doritos in the test kitchen, and I was like,
yeah,
because Doritos are good. Of course, everyone loves them. Like it makes sense.
Yeah,
that's
is
always
something
the hardest to not go by when it's like, oh, even the test kitchen loves them.
That's something I love too. Like all of the junk food, Claire's like, this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
These are so good. I was like, oh, I feel so validated. Well, I thought you had cranberries because your mom posted a picture that the local cranberry bogs were just being harvested. It was a beautiful picture. And I have fond memories of visiting you guys visiting the cranberry bogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
We used to go out and collect them.
Yeah. There probably are cranberries out in those bogs too right now, but I haven't been over there today.
They grow for ocean spray. Did you know that?
Everybody does around these parts.
Mm-hmm.
The cranberries grow for ocean spray?
Yeah.
They're pretty far from the ocean.
They're not really, actually.
Well, shut up. Well, neat. Great drink.
Neat.
I also agree I want it to be Thanksgiving right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the air is cool.
I have so much work to do between now and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I've got a lot of laundry to do, so it's pretty much about the same amount of work Ben has to do.
Yeah.
If not a little more.
I have jury duty, so I totally get it.
Jury duty?
Yeah,
I
next
had
month.
jury duty a couple weeks ago.
Will it go into
Jury
Thanksgiving?
duty. Huh?
Will it go into Thanksgiving?
Huh?
No, it's just a day.
It's just a
What do
day.
you mean?
Wait,
Yeah.
well, if you're on the jury,
Jury duty can
it's
last
not just
more than a day,
day.
Hannah.
Jury
It's not
duty can
gonna.
last for a really fucking long time.
It's the beginning of the month.
First
It'll be
time I
fine.
had jury duty, which, by the way, I'm 24 and I've had jury duty twice already, so what the
Holy
fuck is
shit.
that? The first time I had it, the trial that I ended up, like, getting, drawn into for jury selection was, like, they expected to be an 8-week long murder trial.
Wow.
And then when they were, like, going through jury selection, I just said to the judge that I was a student, he was like, do you want to be dismissed? Because you won't have time for this. And I was like, yes, please. And then I was dismissed right away and was done.
Nice.
Yeah.
When I've only had jury duty once before, and I went in and they didn't end up having any cases because everybody settled, so we just went home. So I was there for like a few hours.
Have not been on jury duty. Sarah was on a trial, and it took a while.
I would actually really like to be on a trial, on a jury. I think it would be cool to experience.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Mm-hmm. You can have my spot.
Well, I hope it doesn't eat into Thanksgiving. Eat into it.
That's really good.
Thanks.
That's great.
Giving.
Cool. Should we get into it?
Do it. Any up fronts, though? Other fronts?
I
know more.
Hey, guess where I came from right before this and why I got home so late? That's true. What was I doing at the gym, though?
Working out.
I went
taking a shower?
I was rock climbing.
Oh, you were wigling your fingers, and it made us both really nervous.
What was I doing? I was doing this workout where you use jazz hands.
What are you doing there, Ben?
I was taking my belay test so that I can get my my Rockwall membership and use it whenever I want.
Oh, you took your belly test? That's great.
Yeah, I took my ballet test. I went with a couple of people that I met in the climbing class I was taking to learn about what to do in the belay test. It was these two girls, and turns out they're a gay couple, which I didn't realize until today. So I was belaying gays. Belay gay.
Bulgarian.
Blagay.
Something. There's something there.
Blagay on. On Blagay. Hey, do you know who loves to rock?
Dominic.
Do you know who loves to rock climb? Dominic. You'll have to go rock climb with Dominic.
Do you know if he does bouldering or belaying or both?
He does the whole
Dominic is
shebang.
Erin's
He's like
brother.
he like goes outdoor lead climbing. He does belaying. He does bouldering. He does jazz hands. Like you. He does it all.
It's fun.
That's my brother. That's one of my brothers.
Ben, no, Erin, what's your obsession?
Wow, hi. All right, I am going to set the tone for our podcast. No, it's my depression. My obsession is not as depressing as it sounds. So, both of my cousins know this, but I got laid off this week on Tuesday. Baby's first layoff. So my true obsession this week has been job hunting. And so just a little bit of backstory, like it wasn't anything to do, it wasn't personal, it wasn't anything to do with job performance. It was just kind of an unlucky circumstances. Like I told, you guys, it was something that I kind of saw it coming in that like our company was like, oh yeah, this thing, we're about to lose like 60% of our revenue, but don't worry about it. So I didn't worry about it. Perhaps I should have worried about it.
Moral of the story, worry about it.
Worry about it. Well, it was really weird because it was like all the signals, like my brain was like, that sounds really bad. But no one ever looked worried or said it in a weird way. It was kind of casual, like, oh yeah, and by the way, like we're losing this chunk of business. And I was like, most of the things I work on have to do with this part of the business. And so, that was kind of, surprising and not surprising at the same time. It made a lot of sense to me when it was happening.
Do you know our mom's story about the first job she was fired from?
No.
You don't know it either, Hannah?
Mm-mm.
I don't know the full story, but the part that I always remember is that she was like in her boss's office and her boss said, "We have to let you go." And her mom said, "Let me go where?"
That's amazing.
Which is just, I feel for the boss in that situation, because then you just have to like explicitly be like, we are taking your job away. It just like sucks even more.
Yeah. So the good news is that, the job market's really good where I am. I have a, skill set that's pretty marketable. There's a lot of I'm seeing a lot of job postings, like a lot of job postings that I'm, qualified for and interested in. So I'm kind of taking it. So my obsession is job hunting. It really has been. I've been kind of like all I've been wanting to do. I was like, oh, maybe I'll take this week to like do a little nesting, have a little relax.
Hang out with Henry.
Hang out with Henry. But I really have not been doing that. I really have been like connecting with my network and like looking at stuff, because it's kind of an exciting time. I feel like really privileged to be in this position where, Molly's working, and so I have a little severance, so I can really like take a little bit of time and think about what I really want, and be a little picky if I want, and just find something really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. And that's been really exciting to like kind of see, and a little addicting in a way to kind of keep looking, and I haven't hit the bottom of the barrel yet. And so it's been kind of fun to like sort through.
That's the thing about these like big life changes is like, I feel like whether you plan them or whether you don't, like there is like an invigorating, exciting element to like, imagining all the ways that your life could change.
I feel that, as someone who a few months ago decided to quit a PhD and just leave with a master's, I feel that same kind of thing.
Yeah, and looking at jobs and looking at companies, especially when you feel like you have a lot of options, can be really fun.
Yeah. I
mean, so I used to do it sometimes as something to like calm me down when I was at like when my own job was making me miserable, just like come home and look at jobs. That was like a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more stressful. You can almost feel like trapped when you're like in it. So it's nice to have the time and to devote to like really digging into things. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it can take a lot of time. Like, and it's been really nice and encouraging. Like the people who have reached out to me, the people who have connected me with other people. Like, it's just really awesome to kind of have a great network and to have the time to like I have a bunch of like just like coffee dates scheduled for next week with people I know, people I don't know. And that's like really luxurious. Like my week is going to be like filled with just like meeting with people, talking to people. This is the first time in a while that my time hasn't been spoken for. Like, like I don't have to answer to anybody. Nobody is expecting me to be anywhere, and that's kind of cool. And the timing is kind of good. Like my severance will kind of end a little bit before Thanksgiving. So I think and I'm, we're going to be okay even beyond that. So I think ideally, like in my like slow, lazy timeline, I could start something like the first week in December. Like, so have kind of this really nice period of time, before Thanksgiving.
So we're going to be starting our new jobs at similar times. I'm going to be starting the first week of January.
Yeah, assuming that happens. But like, I already have some cool stuff like kind of in the pipeline, and it's been like day 3, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, that's me. I guess job hunting and also like fun employment. I'm kind of, expecting. I've also been sick all week. It's been really weird to be this happening at the same time I'm sick, because I'm having trouble. Like either yesterday I was like, am I feeling low or am I just like still sick? And like I took this like huge nap yesterday. It was amazing. And I was like, am I depressed or am I just like still really sick? So today has been the first day I've like felt like so much better, like physically. And so it can be like, yeah, I think I'm mentally pretty good. So I'm giving myself space to like have a moment. If like maybe next week I'll have a moment of like stress or panic or whatever. I'm just kind of giving myself space to experience that. But, knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet. So
that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, because it's never like a fun situation. It just never is. It's
man.
very awkward.
Thank, bro.
Thank. Welcome.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah. But I'm excited for you. I think it's going to be an exciting thing.
Yeah.
I'm curious about something. I know this might be affected by the fact that you're sick, but do you think that, or have you been, and or do you think that you're going to continue with your getting up early thing?
Good cue. I probably won't. I don't
During
really...
fun employment, I mean.
During fun employment, I can't think of a reason I would. Like, I think, I really enjoy it for the way that it, like, fits in really well with having a full work day and being able to have my evening free.
You routinely schedule 8:30 a.m. haircuts on Sundays.
That's not early. I do have, like, 2 8 a.m. meetings next week. Oh, I might have 3. But that's not, like, when I'm thinking about early, I'm thinking, like, 5 a.m. Like, I won't be, I think, like, I've been waking up at, like, 7, 8, but I'm talking about, like, I don't think I'll wake up at 5 a.m. I think I like it as a utility, as a time pocket, because, like, that's some time I can take for myself to give myself time in the evening. But all I got is time, baby. Like, I can sleep, I can wake up when I want to and go to sleep when I want to. Oh, I am waking up at like 7 tomorrow. My friend's picking me up at 7 tomorrow. So I don't know. It depends on how you define early. But probably not with
Your whole frame of reference on early has been so skewed at this point.
You've moved the Overton window on early.
You're right. Okay, so yes, I will continue to wake up early.
I'm gonna sleep until like 8.
Cool. What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep until like 8.
Yeah, I've been waking up like it's like 7:30 today. I mean, you tell me. I've been sleeping in.
No.
You haven't. people keep talking about, I think part of it is when people have kids, they get like this because they have to. But like people like my age, our age or older, I feel like will start to say they can't sleep in anymore. Like they're like, I wish I could sleep in, but my body just wakes me up at, 7:30 or 5 a.m. or whatever. But like, or if you're my father-in-law, like 4 a.m. But
Wow.
I feel very lucky that like when I want to sleep in, I generally like still can. And that makes me actually happy. Like as much as Ben used to get on my case about it when I was a teenager.
I think proper
Why
sleep
did I
in.
get what a weird little kid to get
That's
on your
'cause
case
you're a
about
fucking-
that.
You and
goody
Lucas both
two-shoes.
did. Yeah.
We were like 8 and 10. Why? That's so strange.
That is really
Mhm.
strange. I don't like
Mhm.
going past like 10 for a proper sleep in.
I agree with that.
I will sleep past 10 if I'm in enough sleep debt.
Mhm.
Sleep debt is real
Mhm.
and it's important to address. And so there are some weeks, if I feel like I haven't gotten enough sleep the entire week, I tell Ian, like, I'm not going to set an alarm and I want to sleep until I like naturally wake up.
Hell yeah,
And-
get it, girl.
Yeah. And I'll sleep as late as that means.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I'm a big napper too. Like, I'll just like.
I can't nap.
I took a 4-hour nap yesterday. It was so great.
My life falls apart.
I
when nap.
like an
It's so
occasional
great.
nap, but I can't do it every day.
No, not every day, but
I have a friend
Most
who
days.
like can't get through a day without a nap. Like
Oh, like a baby.
he's just like that's
Cranky.
literally what we always say to him is like we'll like sometimes want to schedule something and be like I have to nap.
oh my god, he's a baby, or he's like from like Spain. Like that's very Spanish.
No, he's not from Spain. He's from upstate New York.
Everyone from Spain is babies. Is what we're saying.
Spain's his babies.
Spain's
Spain's
babies.
is all babies.
In conclusion, Spain's is babies.
It is known.
It is known. Cool. Well, great conclusion. Great, exciting changes for your future.
Thanks.
Should we move on to Ben?
Let's move on to Ben.
I'm torn
Oh, geez.
because
Can't find I'm torn. You're a little late.
I teased something last week that I had just gotten a book that I was going to be reading, which I have been reading and I'm thoroughly enjoying. But this other thing came up on Tuesday out of nowhere
Whoa,
that has, if I'm being true to myself, is what I've really been obsessed with this week.
Follow your heart.
So, and
Ben.
you know what? I'll say because I'm still reading that book, I'm going to throw it another teaser for next week and hope I
Okay.
follow through with that. So the thing I'm obsessed with is a game, and it's a card game specifically, and it's a
Oh.
brand new card game. Which, if you're a new listener, I've been obsessed with a card game in the past called Hearthstone, and I love card games a lot.
On the computer, though. Okay,
On the
everybody.
computer, yeah, it's an online card game. Whatever. This one's the same way.
Whatever.
And Hearthstone is made by Blizzard, and it's
Boo.
all of the Boo Blizzard. All of the cards are
On the
like
computer.
are from yeah, they're not physical. They're data on a computer.
They're
All
on
the
a
cards are
computer.
from the from
Internet.
like the World of Warcraft world.
Of
Like
Warcraft.
all of the they're like all the characters from all of the lore.
But
The
from,
rich
on
lore
the
of Warcraft.
computer.
Yes, correct. The computer lore. So, this Tuesday was the 10th anniversary of League of Legends being released, which is
LOL.
which is lol. That's what people call it sometimes. Which is a game that I've played for a long time. It's made by Riot, who now is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tencent, which I mentioned before. So, they're not, honestly, it's one of those situations where they're not like a super great company, but I still really enjoy their game. I just try not to support them in any other way because their game is free to play, so I'm not actually like giving them money. But anyway, so for 10 years they've made that one game and maintained that one game. And on their 10th anniversary this Tuesday, they announced a card game, an MMORPG, a first-person shooter,
What?
An animated series based on the lore of the game, and they also released a documentary on Netflix about their company.
Holy shit!
Wow.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Are all of these on the computer?
correct. They are all on the computer.
What
Wow.
company is this again?
Riot Games.
Okay. And they're not bad?
They're pretty bad.
Okay.
They're like
Oh.
they're bad in a different way than Blizzard, even though they are entirely owned by Tencent. They the main reason they're bad, and this is I actually don't know. I don't know if this has been resolved. Well, definitely the whole thing hasn't been resolved. They have a culture problem, in terms of like kind of like being overwhelmed by gamer bro culture and having problems with sexual harassment being not handled well at that company, including there was a strike a few months ago by some of the employees there because they were trying to make them sign contracts that included forced arbitration for sexual assault cases, which is obviously a really bad thing. So, I don't want to just like, I don't know. This is another reason why I was torn this week, is because I really don't like Riot as a company, honestly, but I do really like their games that they make. And so if I can continue to play their games and not actually spend any money on them, and like just play their games that are free and not spend money in their in-game stores, which in the past I spent a lot of money on League, but I haven't for a long time, and I'm not planning on ever for. I didn't mention the card game is called Legends of Runeterra. So I'm gonna continue to try to not support them financially as much as I can, but god damn it, is that card game really fucking fun. It's like,
listen, we all live in a capitalist society, and
we do. It's rarely that it's so obvious like with Riot, but if you try to cut yourself off from like every bad company, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So the best you can do is, if they offer free products that have in-game purchases, don't buy the things in-game. So it's like, it's actually it's a more complicated card game, I think, than like Hearthstone, for example. And it's kind of weird to get used to, even for people who have like played other card games. But it's really fun, and what's cool about it is that like I mentioned, I've been playing League of Legends for a long time, like since probably 2012-ish. So I played it when it was like 3 years old, and it's like 10 years old now. Wow. So that's 7 years, if you want to do that math. And so I kind of feel like when Hearthstone came out, there were people who had been playing Warcraft and World of Warcraft for like 20 years and knew all of that lore inside and out, and so like got really excited when they saw like all of the characters that they had played with in that game. And it's kind of fun to be like in that same mindset now, because like the Legends of Runeterra cards, like the most powerful cards, are like champions from League of Legends that you play as. And there's like a lot of like little lore references with all of the cards and stuff. So it's kind of fun to like be already embedded in that lore when the new card game came out. I feel like it's something I missed out on when I started playing Hearthstone. It's also cool to be, and I started playing Hearthstone, and it was in like closed beta also, because my friend gave me a beta key. And this one, when they announced it on Tuesday, they also announced they were going to do a 5-day closed beta that you could register for. And I got into it on the first day, and so I've been playing it quite a bit, which is cool. And also cool to like kind of be in the first round of people playing it.
I saw you were streaming it the other night.
But boy, howdy, the internet can't handle streaming.
Oh no.
It was super laggy. But I don't know. I tried to, because I thought it might be fun to watch it. Yeah.
Did you get people watching because you're like the first in?
Well, there are very famous streamers who are playing it also.
Like you.
No. Like Skara. You idiots.
I don't know that person.
What she asked you. She didn't ask you if Skara was playing.
You don't know who Skara is?
No.
She asked you if lots of people were
Unbelievable.
watching you play it, you ding dong.
Nope.
You freaking ding.
I did get a couple random people come in that I didn't know into the chat to ask about the game, but then I think they left when it was lagging so badly that you couldn't see the cards moving.
Wow.
Those fools.
Yeah.
Who do they think you are? Jesus.
But yeah, that's my obsession. Cool. It's very fun. If you want to look it up, it's called Legends of Runeterra. It's a fun card game.
People who are listening to this and want to play it, they can't, or what?
Well, this comes out on the last day of this first closed beta, but they're opening it. They're doing another beta in November sometime. So you can register at playruneterra.com to try and get access to the next beta.
I wish I felt more qualified to talk to you about online card games. They're on the internet in the computer.
Correct. That's correct.
The cards come out of the computer.
No,
do you print them? Do you print them at home?
No, it all happens right on that beautiful little screen.
So
what's that
website
not cards, again? Then? Your mom plays runeterra.com.
Yep. Any other really good questions? Any bad questions?
What if you don't have a printer?
My printer's always breaking. What do I do?
My printer is impossible to connect to.
You know, I have a secret.
Can you help me fix my printer?
No.
Man.
I can't. I'm so sorry. Are you writing that as an episode title?
Yeah.
I have an unrelated thing, speaking of your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom emailed us.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa,
oh, my God. It was so nice.
Were you done, Ben? That was a good obsession.
Yeah, that's it.
Even though we're not quite clear on the mechanics, but we'll iron that out later.
Do you have to iron them?
Well, if they print them and they're wrinkly. If you print them on wrinkly paper, you have to iron them out later.
Okay, cool. Do you want to read the email from Aunt Brown, or do you want me to read it?
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
This is like revisiting the upfronts section because I have an upfront I forgot also. So
okay,
you idiot.
You want to read it then?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Okay.
It's called Magic Painting and a Thank You. Hi, my dears. This is from Aunt Brown. Loyal listener. Yeah. Loyal mother. Loyal aunt. Hi, my dears. Listening to your latest and wanted to say that Hannah bought me that affirmation-laced magic painting book for my convalescence. What an amazing sentence. I loved it and have over the past few weeks completed it. It is super relaxing. Mm-hmm. As I was listening, I found myself really curious about how Hannah's and my approaches might compare because there is more room for individual variation than you might imagine. Definitely could do more of these and would love to have them show up at Thanksgiving. Great idea. You're welcome. That was my you're welcome. One last thing. My daily PT routine involves riding on a stationary bike. Or a standing bike, I believe, as Ben said. Not my favorite thing, but listened to your podcast during my ride today and set a personal record, 4+ miles in 20 minutes on level 2. Yes, level 2 on a flat. Not the most challenging, I realize, but for someone just 7+ out on hip surgery, it felt pretty good. Love you all, Aunt Brown. I think that sounds dope.
Hell yeah.
Great. 4 miles.
You're working out, you're working out. You good?
Yeah.
You should try that standing bike.
7+? Yeah.
Yeah. 7+ out.
You did 4+, 7+? Wow. I know exactly what that means, and that is impressive.
Even on a flat, that's pretty impressive.
Wait, 4+, 7+ level 2? You didn't know what convalescence meant? It's like the opposite of adolescence.
No. What?
No, is it not? I thought it meant being old.
No.
time
Is
spent recovering from an illness.
Down?
No, it's time spent recovering from an illness.
Can I guess? I don't want you to tell me.
Recuperation.
I'm trying
How
to guess
hilarious
the definition.
is that? Ben's like, you don't know what convalescence means? What?
I guess I must have just always associated. Is there a word I'm thinking of?
You didn't know what convalescence means?
I did.
Convoluted?
Hang on. So you thought that Mom was saying that I bought her a book for her just old age?
Being old?
You know, I didn't even think about it.
I love this word. Thank you, Ann Brown. Thank you for this really beautiful moment of like Ben being a dumbass.
Erin, you've been convalescing this week from your cold.
I have. I've been thinking about that. I took a 4-hour nap of convalescence yesterday.
Yes, exactly. It's a great word.
It's a great word.
I forgot that I had gotten that book from Mom, but I'm glad that she liked it. I'm glad that you liked
Googling
it.
furiously trying to save face and find the word that he thought.
Can I tell you? I really want to tell you what I just Googled.
Wait, what?
Because I really thought that there was a word that was like sounded like adolescent, but thought had to do with old people. And so I put in Google adolescent but old.
What did Google have to say to you about that?
Nothing useful, because why would it? That's nothing.
Did you say nothing useful or nothing youthful?
A lot of youthful. It's a lot about adolescence. Wow, that's so funny. I really thought those were just a new little word pair, adolescence and convalescence.
Well, words can mean whatever you want them to mean.
That's true. Convalescence means old.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, my middle thing is that the Adventure Zone, the brothers McElroy just announced what their third season of the Adventure Zone is going to be.
I didn't see that.
They did. They premiered it on YouTube, a trailer for it at 3:30 today, the day we're recording, which is the 18th. And I put that in the Slack if anyone would like to watch it. It's a really cute animated video that I think is narrated by Janet Varney.
What?
I love their new logo. So yeah, Travis is going to be
the DM.
Yeah. So the Adventure Zone graduation, I believe it's called, right?
Wait, did it say when it was starting, that video?
Yeah, October 30th. It starts on Halloween this year.
Fuck yeah, that's so soon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Very excited about that. It's kind of like, for those who didn't just watch the trailer, I will like put out a link to it, and I won't leave all that dead air. But it's kind of like, in my mind, it's kind of a combination of Harry Potter and the Venture Brothers. Did you guys ever watch that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it was an Adult Swim show that was kind of like a.
Oh, I did watch it when you watched it.
It was a satirical take on Johnny Quest, I think it was called, where he like traveled around with his father all around on adventures and shit. But it was like that, but everybody was kind of an asshole, and the villains, and you got to know like the henchmen over time. And actually, it was a really, really good show. It really like builds in a nice way. And doesn't just like go off the deep end like some other Adult Swim shows did. Or I just never finished it. I don't know. But it's kind of like the focus, like the way you get to know the henchmen obviously reminds me of this, because it seems like our main characters are going to be people who are training to be henchmen. And also the way that like the fact that the heroes and the villains are being trained in the same place by the same people is very like Venture Brothers is kind of like that too, where it's like basically nobody, like if you take it too seriously, the hero or the villain thing, you're kind of like a loser. But it's like everybody just picks a role and like embodies that role and gathers henchmen and does it. Like, so it's like just a job. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a really good show. But anyway, that's exciting. I'm sure they're going to be great.
It's got My Hero Academia vibes too.
I see. I didn't watch that, but
I haven't watched either, but I've heard of it a lot. I know a lot of people that really like it.
You didn't know what that means?
My Hero Convalescence.
Okay, so my obsession.
Yeah, what's your sesh?
Speaking of animated stuff, I don't know if either of you has seen this. If I had to put a bet on it, I would say but probably it's more likely that Ben has. It's a classic, I think technically anime series, called Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Of course I've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Of course I've
No, I'm
watched that
kidding. I
and
haven't
Legend
seen
of
it.
Korra.
I haven't seen it, but shout out to cousin Andy. Fucking loves that show.
It's so
cool.
good.
Yes, it's very good. So here's...
It's not considered an anime, I think, by the way.
I didn't know, because it wasn't made in Japan, right?
It was made in America, but I don't know if that's the only reason, because it has a lot of the same style, obviously.
Yeah, it does. It does. I don't know. It's like...
What's its Wikipedia say?
Sort of similar, but different, I guess. I could see both positions from where I'm standing, you know?
Yeah, I think it's... I wouldn't spit on you if you said it was.
I watched the first Airbender. I haven't watched the last one.
Great joke, Erin. Weird joke, Ben.
What was your joke, Ben? I missed it.
I said I wouldn't spit on you if you said it was an anime.
That's nice of you.
It's not really a joke, but...
I don't think I'd spit on you either way.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah.
I don't think. Don't test me.
So, here's what happened from my perspective as to why we just watched this recently.
Did you watch all of it recently?
I'm not quite finished yet. We were actually watching the like last episode, the big long last episode before I came in here, but I had to stop. So, we're close. It's 3 seasons long, the original series. And I know there have been spin-offs and stuff. I haven't seen any of those obviously yet. Just one. Fine. I've always heard a lot about it. I've mostly heard about it and always struggled to understand whether people were talking about that movie or the show. It never was on my radar. And then a couple weeks ago, Ian was mentioned something about Avatar. And he was like, "Oh, you're one of those that hasn't seen it, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I've never seen it." And we just moved on. Yeah. But that was as much of a conversation as I ever remember us having about Avatar. But then later that night, he was like, we could start watching Avatar. I know that you're tired of me asking about it, but blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what do you mean? You've never asked me to watch it. And he was like, well, you never want to watch it. And I was like, I literally feel like this is the first time that you've asked me.
Oh my God, this is so hilarious.
And so I think I had been ignoring it completely, or I don't know what happened.
You never want to magically read my mind. You never want to magically bring up something out of the blue that I want you to bring up out of the blue.
I just feel like this was probably somehow my fault, but I just don't remember him talking about it before. I don't know. So, for the first, probably the first entire season, I was very begrudging about it. We would watch it, but we would take turns. We'd go back and forth between other things because I felt like I was being brute forced into watching it. And, but now that I'm, towards the end of it, it's extremely, extremely good. And there were things I liked about it right out of the gate. I was kind of just being difficult just for fun, you know? But, one of the main baddies is voiced by Mark Hamill. Did you know?
The Fire Lord is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of... That's what most of his career has been since Star Wars, is voice acting work.
Ian sent me some choice tweets while we were sitting in here. Okay, here's one from at Cosmic Knife.
Are these things that people will get who've watched the show?
Yeah.
Are these... Okay.
So this one's from someone named Kelsey at Cosmic Knife. Avatar: The Last Airbender was destined to be a big success because you have Katara calling out sexist behavior within the first 10 minutes of the pilot. Which is true. And I was immediately I love Katara.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, so, Erin, to give you a sense of who Katara is. So I would say the main, trio are a brother and sister, Katara and, Ben, help me.
Sokka.
And they're from the Southern Water Tribe. In this world, the everybody is either from the Water Tribe, like broken up by elements. Basically, you're either from the Water Tribe, the Earth Tribe. They're not all tribes.
The Earth Kingdom,
the Air Kingdom, Air Nomads, or the Fire Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon. Dungeon.
Fire Nation.
And depending on Fire Nation, depending on which one you're descended from, you may or may not be born with the ability to control those elements to a certain degree. So the reason it's called The Last Airbender is because, like, before Aang reappeared on the scene in the pilot of this show, it was thought that the world had completely had that all of the air nomads had been wiped out. So he's the only one left. And there was also all this lore about how when the last airbender did appear, that he would also be the Avatar. And the Avatar is the one person on Earth at any given time or on the planet who can control all 4 elements. And he has like some other extra powers and basically is like exists to be, he or she exists to be like a peacekeeping sort of force in the, like, keep balance across all the different, like, realms and elements. So there was, just before the show started, there was like 100 years of war and all this, like, imbalance because the Avatar had disappeared. Like, there was no Avatar for 100 years.
And didn't the Fire Nation, like, specifically target the Air Nation, the Air Nomads, because the Avatar gets resurrected when the last one dies, and it goes on a cycle.
Yeah, I think so.
Between the elements.
Yeah,
and they knew that it would be Air Nation next, so they wiped them out.
I think that's probably true. As far as I can tell, it seems like I just learned this, but I feel like it's relevant to mention, and it's not a huge spoiler. So something that you know from the beginning is that the Avatar gets reincarnated. So every time that one Avatar dies, the new Avatar is born, like, at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like the Dalai Lama. Is that the one?
Yeah, I think so.
And yes, it rotates what kingdom or what, like, element they're from. And also it seems like it basically alternates, gender.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but I think you're right.
Well, actually the last 2 were both, men, but there are, like, almost as many, like, when you look back at the generations, the ones that I've seen, there are almost as many women as there are men. So that's cool.
The one the one before Aang was from the Fire Nation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then before that was Earth, and before that was water.
Yeah, and the next one's water. That's Korra.
Oh, okay. Cool. So, yeah, so it's basically like this, it's a coming of age story for Aang, who, although he's the Avatar, is very young and it has a lot to learn. Yeah. Nice. And so the 3 of them are traveling all over the world to try to build up his powers so that he can, like, face off against the evil Fire Lord and restore balance to the whole planet. So it's
are you saying he's the opposite of a convalescence? He's an adolescent. Sorry. Keep going.
He also, like, even though he can use all 4 elements, he's like, he still needs to be trained in all of them. That's part of what they're going around doing, is looking for teachers in all the elements. Yeah,
and there's a lot of deep, there's a lot of deep lore that I haven't dug into because I'm still finishing the series. But, like, I think Ian told me that each element's, like, bending style is based on a different, like, martial art.
I think that's true, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting because even though they're essentially doing the same thing, but with different elements, all of the their movements and stuff look very different. Mm-hmm. And you actually see people through the course of the series, like, learn new ways to bend new things, by sort of thinking about them differently. Like thinking about, like, what actually contains water? What can I do with that? Or how can I use methods that waterbenders typically use, but as a firebender in order to expand my, it's studying it rewards you no matter whether you're like an avatar or not. So he really he has a lot to learn, even though he has all these powers, kind of like Ben said.
Is Toph your favorite character, or are you wrong?
Toph is great. Toph is a character's added to the crew later on. Who's my favorite character?
Toph is really cool. She's blind, and she's a really, really skilled earthbender. Mm-hmm. And so she basically can see by like sensing the earth through her feet. She always walks around barefoot. And so she can kind of like have a map of the world around her just by being so in tune with the earth, because she's such a good earthbender. It's so cool.
It is cool.
She also really invents metal bending.
Yes. I really like Toph, but I really love Appa. And he does count as a character.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
And I should mention that there's actually 2 other characters who are like part of the crew throughout almost the entire series. And that's Appa, who is a really big, fluffy air bison. So he's a 6-legged, super fluffy bison who flies. And he has he's basically soul bound to Aang. So they've been like together since they were both like kids, or babies. So that he has like somehow, I don't know, maybe they all had it, like the arrow.
I think they all had it.
On his forehead, which Aang also has this blue arrow on his forehead, which kind of gives him away as the avatar immediately when anyone sees him.
I think all the airbenders and bison had that.
Oh, okay. So it gives him away as an airbender, which gives him away as the avatar. Yeah. And the other one is a flying rabbit monkey?
Lemur.
Rabbit lemur, named Momo, who is my second favorite character.
I love Momo. I love that show. I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah, Ian's watched it many times, and he loves it.
And finally, he's convinced you to watch it.
After 4 years of trying.
Of silence.
He said to me on the day we got engaged, "Will you marry me on one condition? You have to watch Avatar, The Last Airbender."
Weird for him to be giving conditions when he's the one proposing.
And still I forgot about it until now. But anyway, it's very good. Everyone should just go ahead and watch that. It's on Amazon Prime. No, we had to pay extra for it.
Can I tell you a really cool thing about The Legend of Korra?
Okay.
Which takes place after, because she's the next Avatar.
Spoiler.
In the world of Legend of Korra, there's like a whole group of elite earthbenders that specialize in metal bending, which Toph invented, and it's like led by Toph's daughter.
Wow, that's cool.
It's so cool. There's a lot of really cool things. That show is also really, really good. I highly recommend if you're like still have that itch you want to scratch, that Airbender scritch. that old Airbender scritch.
If you got that Airbender scritch.
If you got that Airbender scritch, use more lotion.
Yeah. It's a good show.
The writing's really good. The character development's really good. Animation's really good. Some shows, they're just like kind of junk foody, and then other shows it's like you get a season away from where you last were, and you like can't believe how much everyone you're watching has changed, and in such a way that it's not like hard to believe.
You really see Aang mature.
You do. You see a lot of them.
And you see a lot of them like
change a lot.
You see them grow up. It's really nice to watch.
Yeah. So, strong recommend. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I sec that wreck.
Nice.
Cool.
Not the James Cameron movie.
No.
No, I do not sec that wreck. That movie is not good. In my IMO.
Shamefully, I saw it in theaters and I really loved it. But
of course, I mean, so did I. It was beautiful. That movie for a long time was the highest grossing movie ever. And yet it left... That? I've talked about this before. It left no cultural impact. Even though it sold 1 million fucking tickets.
Michael Hobbs talks about this, like he refers to it as something, it's a certain type of blockbuster. He has a riff on the word blockbuster. about movies like this that are like this crazy phenomenon, but like have no cultural impact.
No one
whatsoever.
can quote a line from Avatar.
Yeah.
No one in the world.
I see you.
Sure.
That's a line.
That could be a line from any movie. You could say that was from The Godfather, and it probably is also.
I'll remember that movie well into my convalescence.
I'll remember it well into my adolescence, but old.
Yeah, but it was very beautiful. You know, it left an impact on me in that I remember it was the first movie where I was like, I want to go to there and I want to live there, you know, like of the place they were in. But like nothing about the plot, nothing about the characters, like mostly the glowing
I don't know
plants.
the main character's name. I don't know his...
There was like some tail
Jake,
sex.
I think?
Something. Huh?
There's like dragon tail sex.
Yeah, there's tail sex.
Oh, you know, I will say,
hair sex. I think it was hair
as
sex.
little impact as that movie had, the ride at Animal Kingdom in Disney World changed my life.
Oh,
It's the best ride I've ever been on in my whole life. It's so great.
Is it
Why
beautiful?
did it change
It's
your
beautiful.
life? Like, what about your life did it change?
Just what I thought was possible.
So it was like the movie for me with cinema.
You came out and you were like, this has changed what I thought was possible in cinema. James Cameron, you've done it again.
Oh, man. Cammy, hit us again with cinema.
It's the new age starts now.
Oh, Cammy's got us again, y'all.
Damn it, Cammy. Damn it, Cammy.
Damn it, Cammy. How you do that? Yes, Avatar: The Last Airbender, definitely the superior Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Like
The movie version is really bad.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen it, but it's notoriously terrible.
Oh my
you should
god.
watch a trailer for it. They whitewashed the shit out of it, number one. It's also directed by M. Night
Shyamalan. Haven't seen it.
You watch the trailer. I think
It is a very, it's like a pretty diverse, like, cast.
Yeah.
You know, as far as animated characters go. I don't know about the, like, actual voice actors, but...
There's an air one, there's a fire one, there's a water one, there's a land one. It's pretty diverse.
Yeah, and I guess that's ruined. I'll watch the trailer for it later. Should we,
go to
wrap
bed?
this thing up? What were you saying about Titanic, Erin?
Well, I was just saying Titanic was, like, such a huge movie, and that has, like, such cultural impact. Like,
Yeah.
just, like, everybody
Cammy.
knows Titanic, like, talks about it.
Cammy hit it good on that one.
He did.
Tammy did.
That's what his friends call him. Tammy Cammy.
Oh, Tammy. Oh, I'm sorry. You call him James. We call him Tammy. Everyone does. Tammy did good.
Tammy Titanic.
Tammy did good on Tammy. Tammy did a good one.
I want to say Tammy did good on Titanic to you at Thanksgiving and see if you remember what the fuck I'm talking about.
Tammy did good on Titanic. I remember like
you did good on Titanic, huh?
I remember Tammy's Titanic.
Can I confess something? I've never seen Tammy Titanic.
Oh my fucking god, Ben.
This is the reaction I get from Kylie when I say this too.
There's so many great things to love about it. We're doing Titanic at my house, Thanksgiving, one of the nights.
Tammy
All
Titanic.
3 hours.
3 hours? Movies have to be 90 minutes. Come on.
Ben.
Two 90-minute chunks.
Ben, do you know what treasures lie before you in Titanic?
The Coeur de la Mer.
Deep in the ocean?
Huh?
The Coeur de la Mer.
Yeah, there's that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a lot of other great things. Okay, it's a great movie. You're in for a treat. All right.
Okay, wait. There's another tweet I forgot to read. And then we can wrap up. It's from someone named Rebecca Mix at WordMixer, MIXRR on Twitter. Someone, I've never watched Avatar The Last Airbender, me physically climbing through their window. Allow me to convince you. That's Ian.
Except apparently more silent about it.
So
suffering in silence for a lot longer.
like
that's like a comfort food show.
Yeah,
me.
that's how
just
he
like
talks
makes me
about
feel
it too.
good.
Yeah. I think I could see it becoming that for me. Because I really do like have a lot of love for almost every character now.
I think that I would be remiss if I didn't ask you which style of bending you would want the most.
Oh, good question.
He would be remiss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we didn't go to bed when we said we would earlier. Because I would hate for you to be remiss.
I feel like firebending would be a lot more dangerous than it often looks in the show.
Yeah.
A lot more
very
shit.
easy to kill someone by accident.
Also, to burn shit down. Like, nothing around them ever catches on fire unless they want it to. And then,
I know what I would want.
I mean, I guess airbending seems cool, because you can fly.
Yeah, it's gotta be airbending for me.
I know what I want.
What do you want, Erin?
Gender bending.
The fifth element.
Gender. Air, water, earth, fire, and gender.
Okay. Homework.
Me. Get a job.
This is just a personal reminder.
Get a job, Erin. Jesus Christ.
Do you want me to write that?
Yeah, get a job.
Okay.
I'm working on it. I'm not working, but I'm working on it.
Nice.
I would say take a moment, reflect, do what makes you happy, whatever.
Nice.
Watch the Titanic. That's my homework. Would you, Ben, if we did a Titanic movie night at the house, would you watch it?
Sure. I'm not.
We're not gonna.
It's not that I'm opposed to seeing it. I just never have.
It's so good. If
Although
you choose not to watch the Titanic, you're actively choosing not to watch the Titanic.
Is it called The Titanic?
No.
It's called Tammy-tanic.
If you're choosing not to watch Tammy's Tanic, then you're actively
Tammy's
choosing
finest
to
work,
not
Tanic.
watch Tammy's Tanic. Tammy's award-winning Tanic.
Did you say Tamic?
Tammy's award-winning Tanic.
I'm so sorry.
Well, don't be sorry to me. Be sorry to Tammy.
Our good friend Tammy.
I'm so sorry, Tammy. Oh my god.
Ben, what's your homework?
If that card game I mentioned sounded interesting,
It's on the computer.
it's on the computer. Go to playruneterra.com and you can register. You can also get it on your mobile device soon, I think.
Your pocket computer.
Your pocket computer. My homework is
go to
burped into the
Kinko's.
microphone.
Go to Kinko's. They'll print it for you.
Right from your phone. Kinko's doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's called FedEx Office, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called Kinko's.
What a weird thing that they did ever call it Kinko's. Why? Where did that name come from?
It was really memorable. It's like,
You know where it came from.
Don't Kinko's shame.
Printing is my Kinko.
oh
All
my
right.
God.
Sorry. Continue, Ben.
My Twitter is nicely proved Ben. My Twitch is Disco Greg. I streamed a little bit of Legends of Runeterra the other day. It was super laggy. Maybe I'll try again. Probably not.
Well, when you're home.
Yeah, when I'm home. When you're home.
Such a little kinder when you're home. I can't remember the word.
What did you say?
Sun's a little kinder. I mean, that's not that far off. I think, like, sky's a little clearer is one of them or something.
Street's a little kinder.
Yes, that's it. Street's a little kinder.
The sun.
Summer nights are clearer, I think, is the other.
Summer nights are cooler when you're home.
I just remembered.
Now that you're here with me.
I just remembered earlier tonight that I think it was 2 Thanksgivings ago, we all decided after a night of eating and drinking at Erin's house, almost our whole family decided we were all going to try to sing all of
Hamilton.
I thought that was last year, wasn't it?
From memory. Huh?
I think that
wasn't
was
that last year?
I don't know. Maybe.
I
still have that recording, I think.
That has 2018 feels to it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. So, my homework.
Maybe it was the year before. Anyway, what's your homework?
Watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. You can get a free, it's like a 7-day free trial. So it was produced by Nickelodeon, shockingly.
Oh.
And so the only way I found that you can watch it is you have to get you have to have Amazon Prime and then pay an extra $7.99 like a month or something for Nickelodeon stuff. But there's like a free 7-day trial. So if you marathon it, you could probably do that. Or I don't know, you buy the DVD.
How many episodes is it?
I don't know.
60.
It's 3 seasons.
61.
I think it is about 60.
At 61.
Did you just look it up?
I looked it up earlier.
Okay. A couple of those are
just throwing out a number.
Yeah. A couple of those are long though, but most of them are only a half hour. So that's, a maybe
you can also
possible.
Watch it illegally in places.
You could find it if you're resourceful. Or you can just buy the DVDs probably. I don't know.
It's not a lot to ask to spend a little money for The Last Airbender.
Yeah, and my Twitter is Hanthropology, and that's also my Instagram, and I also have another podcast called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams and all kinds of stuff. We've got some new podcast art coming in the somewhat near future.
Yay.
And I'm very excited about it, working with a very cool artist on it.
I forgot to mention, I have another podcast about ice cream. It's called So Creamy.
Cool. Who do you host that with? Is it just you?
No. I host it with our cousin, Jewel.
Like the singer?
Yeah. And we talk about, ice cream.
Cool.
Good ones, bad ones, creamy ones.
And everything else. You talk about life through the lens of ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to the chocolate
Our cousin Jewel. Wow.
Our cousin Jewel.
If you want to call us and tell us what your podcast is, you can do that at our voicemail. It's 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
Dial the numbers that spell out blaze it.
Don't dial the number and then dial blaze it, because that's not the point.
That's too many numbers.
That's too many numbers.
Yeah. We have also podcast Twitter at WayTooBroadPod. We have an Instagram at WayTooBroad. We have an email address. As you heard earlier, we got an email from Aunt Brown. That is waytoobroad@gmail.com. And we have a website. If you didn't catch any of that contact stuff, you can find it at waytoobroad.com. And all the homework and also the episodes and our topic index is all there for your viewing pleasure. For anything you want, earnben.com for anything you need. Make sure you bookmark the Queer Works map, because it's always in the homework too, because it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And if you enjoyed the episode this week, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you can, and let us know you did that, and we'll definitely thank you and stuff, because that would be so great. Okay, that's it. Anybody else got anything else?
Bye.
Go to bed.
Go to bed now. The
Go to
podcast candle is extinguished. It's time for bed. Lights out.
Go to sleep.
I said lights out.
And good night. Go to sleep, little listener. Close your eyes unless you're driving. Go to sleep. Bye, we love you. Bye.
Hold on, I gotta fart.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it was
Please
so
don't put-
audible.
Please don't put that as the cold open. Molly's coworkers listen to this.
Everybody farts, Erin.